Hey everyone. So I had a bunch of synchronicities, like really blatant synchronicities, happen to me throughout the week. And I was actually going to make a video 2 days ago because I kept having such significant ones just to share some of my experiences with you guys. And for some reason, they didn't want me to do a video then. So I waited a couple days and then a few more crazy things happened. So I think it's because they wanted me to wait so I could share them all at one time. So the first one I'm going to start out with is yesterday I woke up from this dream and there was a person that used to be in my life like years ago, and that individual was like in my dream, and I was like, that was so weird, like I don't understand. But I kind of brushed it off, woke up early, did a little post on Instagram. Then I go to the gym after my kids go to school, and there's that person that I had the dream about. And I was like, okay, like whatever. Sometimes, periodically, I see him, not that often. So then usually I just like say hi from a distance, but I don't like engage in conversation. Like that's just how I am, I'm very introverted. So like I'll see people that I know, but I just will just wave. Like I won't have a full-fledged conversation. So anyways, I go upstairs and I'm stretching, I'm doing everything, and like he comes like and is like really close to me doing jump rope or whatever he was doing to warm up, and I was just like, what the hell? Like something kept telling me just like say something to this person. So I say something to him, and then like all of a sudden he just starts opening up about like his childhood and things that he's holding on to, and I was just like, what the hell? Like it was like in my dream this person was reaching out to me, so then I would make the connection when I saw him that the conversation needed to happen, and it happened. And I think it was to allow that individual to help him let go of some things he was holding on to. The reason it's even more crazy is because earlier in the week, maybe 2 days prior to that, I'm at the gym. There's an older woman there, not older, but like probably my mom's age. And I noticed, like, I waved to her as well. Like, I know everyone at the gym because I'm there so often. It's just like a little community. And I don't know, it was like she was right where I was going to go sit on the bike and read with one of her clients. And I was like, what the heck? And I noticed she had been growing her hair out. And then she was just like, and I was like, I really like your hair. I know she was wearing a ponytail before, like it was short, like couldn't get into a ponytail. I was like, I really like your hair and you're growing it out or whatever. And she's like, yeah, actually, it's like a huge step for me. And then all of a sudden, I felt all this energy come in, and I was feeling emotional. Like, as soon as she started talking about it, and then she started talking about how her son had passed away 15 years ago. She still hasn't let go of it. She's been holding on to it. She can't move on relationships or anything like this. All this stuff. And it was like, I didn't. So she's going on about, like, growing her hair out. Like, when she has short hair, her facial features remind her of her son. It was like a way of holding on to him. And like not moving. She had just moved into a new house, which I noticed a few weeks ago because she had posted on her Facebook. I was like, your new house is so cute. It's like a little house just for her and her dog and stuff. And it's just weird. I kept gravitating towards her all the time. And so anyways, all of a sudden, like spirit came in so strong. It was either spirit or it was her son, but like I'm like still early in the game in terms of like deciphering like what's coming through. Sometimes I just get these messages and I just have to like, anyone who channels knows, like you'll get like clues and sometimes you kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together, and that's kind of like how it was in this situation. It was like I couldn't tell if it was like her son telling me like that he's proud of her and that she's doing the right thing, and that's what I was telling her because it was like I had to tell her. It was like it's so heavy on you, just blah, it just comes out, and you're just like, yeah, he like wants you to know this, he wants you to know that, and it's like me like having to really engage with people, like being drawn to people in public places and stuff like that. Like, I'm just getting used to it. So that's why I think they want me to come on and talk about it, because I feel like there's a lot of people in my shoes that are coming into the spiritual journey and are waking up, and now it's time for service. And you know, it's like baby steps, you know. It's everything's not going to hit you at once. You won't be able to handle it. So you're kind of learning how to work with spirit. So anyways, that was crazy. So two situations there. Then, so my son is going to his dad's this weekend. So me and Lance were like, let's get away. My oldest son, all my kids are grown. My oldest son has a different dad than my other three kids. So they're all going away this weekend. So we have the weekend to ourselves. And I was like, okay, well, let's just like do something that we won't have to spend a lot of money, but we can just be away from home, you know. So we were just gonna get a hotel room and then like kind of like wander, maybe in Williamsburg or like Richmond area, because that's the area that we have to meet them. So we already have to drive up there, so let's just stick in that area because we have to drive back Sunday. So I was like, cool. I get on Groupon, I book a hotel in Richmond. Mind you, I had just bought something off Groupon a couple months ago, so it was weird when Groupon came back and was like the next day and was like, it was never booked. We canceled it because you have to update your credit card information. I was like, I just used my credit card on there. The expiration's fine. There's no way it's supposed to be getting declined. You know, like it just didn't make sense. And I was like, okay, I already know that's the universe telling me, nope, you're not supposed to stay there in that hotel or in Richmond or wherever, you know. So I was like, okay. So I just like get on Google Maps and I like minimize the map so you can see more of it. I was like, where are we supposed to go that's kind of in this general area? And so I looked to the left, I looked to the right. I was like, we go over by the ocean or we could go to the mountains. Shenandoah National Park is like an hour and 45 minutes west. So it's like, we're going to the mountains. It's fall, like the leaves are changing. It's a perfect time to hike. The weather's going to be good. I checked the weather. So I go and I'm like, no cabins available. Every time I get on the phone with a hotel, this is a really popular season. It's fall. Everyone's hiking. So good luck finding a hotel room, basically. So I was like, no, I'm going to keep calling everywhere until I can figure this out. So I book a hotel room that's like very on the south side of the mountain in Waynesboro. And it was so crazy. So I was like, cool. I finally got a room, and they actually made an accident. They had called me later that night. I had booked it for Friday and Saturday, but they didn't even have anything available Saturday. The lady made a mistake. So I ended up having to book a different room somewhere else, but it all worked out. Anyway, so I look for trails that are like on the south end of the national park, closer to that hotel, so we don't have to drive hours towards the top of the park. Like it's a huge mountain range. So I found the perfect trail, right? And then what was it that made me go? Found that room. Oh, I went on Google Trails to look for the trails, and then it popped up. This thing popped up about vortexes, and I was like, oh, vortexes, like the first thing that comes to mind are the popular ones out in Sedona, Arizona, and Mount Shasta, like the West Coast. I was like, I wonder if they have any vortexes on the East Coast or like in Virginia, or because if they would, it'd probably be in the Allegheny Mountains. Like the Allegheny Trail runs right down through there. So I was like, okay, let me get on here. Tell me why there was an energetic vortex in Virginia 40 minutes, like down into the mountains. That's why it takes 40 minutes, but it was literally right near the hotel that we were staying in. It was like, what? Like not every state has vortexes. There's not a ton of them. So I get online, I start reading people's experiences at this specific place. It's in the George Washington National Forest. So that's actually the mountain range. So there's the mountain range where this little stretch of land that goes between, and there's another mountain range. And that's George Washington National Forest. And my hotel is like right in there. It's so weird how everything worked out. And so I look it up, and there's these people talking about their experiences. One lady was talking about she took a pendulum up, and she's like, literally, we got to because it's the tallest waterfall on the east of the Mississippi. So it's in, gosh, I can't remember the name of the waterfall now, but it's in George Washington National Forest. You can look it up. Anyways, this lady had this pendulum. She said she got to the top of the waterfall, and this thing was literally like spinning like this. That's how, it's something to do with the ley lines, the vortexes that they have. I haven't done a ton of research on it, so I'm not going to sit here and try to educate you on it. You can utilize Google. But anyways, the lady was like, yeah, I had a pendulum and it was just spinning like this at the top. And then I was reading other people's experiences, how they went up. There was some person that, you know, is already in the spiritual field. And then she met up with some other people, and they just happened to be there at the same time, like-minded people, and they ended up climbing up to the top together and having this experience. And it was just like really cool stories I was reading. So now I'm just getting super excited. So I'm going to take a pendulum and try that out, because I think it's going to be cool. And I'll probably make videos as I go too. So I'll keep you posted on that and let you know. I'll probably put them on my Instagram. But anyways, so back to the synchronicities. So that whole thing worked out because Source is calling me and Lance to go to the specific vortex in the George Washington National Forest. Totally unplanned, but it all came full circle, and that's where we're headed this weekend. So my mom, this isn't really that exciting, but last week I was talking to my mom, and she was like, and I was like telling her how I was concerned, because like she runs this youth center, and she'll take my kids for the month of July, usually. And the youth center is on this like road where people are supposed to go slow, like 35 is the mile per hour, but they fly through there, and there's like this hill. And I told my mom I get nervous every time she takes the kids, because all I can think of is like something happening, like, because it's like a dangerous area. Like, that's just the feeling I got, right? I was telling my mom that on the phone last week. She calls me not the day before yesterday. She got in a car accident, totaled her truck, had 4 kids in the car at that same intersection. And I just told her last week how concerned I was about it. But why am I even talking about it in the fall when I don't even have to worry about it till next summer when my kids go there? And it was like I was trying to tell I had a bad feeling about that area, and I was trying to tell my mom that last week, and she ended up totaling her car. Thankfully, everybody walked away with just some bruises. This guy came flying over the hill and hit the front side of my mom's truck and totaled it. So she's pretty traumatized about it, but you know, insurance is going to pay for everything, and nobody got hurt. You know, it's just a material thing that was lost. But it was just crazy to me, because my intuition was telling me to tell my mom, like, be careful there. You know what I mean? Please be careful there. And then it ended up being an accident, unfortunately. But that was another synchronicity I experienced this week. And there were 2 different like movie synchronicities, and me and Lance, like, we're home a lot because we have the 4 kids. So we're, you know, you can't just be out and about all the time. You kind of like turn into somewhat of homebodies, like out in the yard and just like, you know, watching movies and just, you know, hanging out with the kids and with each other. So anyways, I had 2 movie synchronicities. I had watched this movie, and it was weird because Lance just put it on, and like it ended up kind of being like a sci-fi kid movie, but it was about these people in a cave. I think it was on Netflix. Some of you might have watched it. And it was like, once they went down in the cave, it was like forever young, like time. It was weird. There was like this, what was it? The fountain where the fountain of youth or whatever. It was down in that cave, and then like time like passed like super, super fast. So you could see the sun rising and setting and rising and setting. So it was like everything happening outside of it. It was like this whole movie about time. And then I was like, oh, that was an interesting movie. It was kind of like like it was super like kid-like, but we ended up watching the whole thing anyways because we're open to stuff like that. And then literally right after that, I was like, okay, let me scroll through Hulu and see if we can find something on Hulu. And this show came up called Manifest. And heck with you, Hulu, for only putting like the first episode and then jumping to the 12th. And now I don't have cable, so I can't watch it, the rest of it. But anyways, it was a movie about these people who they get on the plane, they get off the plane, and 5.5 years have passed. So they're trying to integrate themselves back into life. Moral of the story, it was a time thing. And in the same day, I was like, whoa, that was weird. Did you notice that? Like, that's what I told him. I was like, that was really weird. So, yeah, it was that one. And then and then the next day we watched a documentary on mind control. It was called Above Majestic. It's on YouTube for free. You kind of have to watch it in 2 videos. It's about like child trafficking and the cabal and all that. Ugh, I got really, really emotional when they started talking about that stuff. So, like, if you're sensitive, I'm not sure I'd recommend watching it, but there's a lot of good information in it. There's a lot of good researchers in it too. Anyways, and then the following day, I ran into this show on Netflix called The Island, and it was about a similar thing, mind control. So when they did in the documentary, they were talking about like literally trafficking kids and doing these mind control experiments on them. And then the next movie, they were using prisoners to do mind control through simulation and stuff. So I was like, whoa, we just watched a freaking show, a documentary about that, and now we're watching a random show about that, you know? So it's like all these synchronicities, and I get numbers and stuff all the time, but when it's stuff like that, it's more exciting to me, and I want to share it with you guys. And like, you totally don't have to watch my synchronicity videos if you don't want to, but like, I'm the type of person that likes to hear other people's stories, and I think it's like story time. It's fun, you know? So, yeah, I just didn't want to be on here long. I just wanted to share some of the things that I've been experiencing, and because I think they're kind of cool. Just like sharing my past life regression, I think it's kind of cool, so I like to share it. But I will get back to you guys in terms of, like, letting you know how this weekend goes, because I feel like there's, like, a huge purpose. Especially some of the testimonies I heard about people going to the vortex up near in that waterfall. This lady said she had like serious physical issues, and she literally felt herself healing there, and then like walking away, like feeling like she could like walk normally. She had some, you know, issues with her legs and stuff, and I was just like, whoa. You know, like, I want to see what the hype is about. Like, I want to see if I really feel that energy and can get up into that area they're talking about, because they said there's like people who go off the path. There were like 29 people who've died so far from getting off the path because it's such a steep area. But I'm sure I'll be fine. I just hope they'll make me get off the path to go up into that area, because I'm not trying to fall into a waterfall. But anyways, source got me, right? I love you guys, and I'm going to get back to you. Might do a video with Lance while we're out and post it, and then keep you updated. So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, just look up Kelsey Franks. My website's kelseyfranks.com for all my services, and I have some posts and stuff up there. And I love you guys, and I hope you have an awesome weekend.